Hello everyone, welcome back to the fifth video of this tutorial series, Chainlit tutorial series, and this is going to be one of the most important video of this series because we are going to implement the final feature of our ChatGPT clone, which is going to be our browsing the search history, just like how we have in ChatGPT when you can browse the search history. You can browse the chat history and you can pull out any previous chats that you might have done with ChatGPT, and you can continue with that. That's what we're going to be building today, and for that we need an SQL tool because the way this works in Chainlit is that there is an SQL database with which where we need to create some tables, and we connect that or link that up with our Chainlit, and Chainlit uses this SQL database to store all of the chats and steps and threads in the background. So to do that, the first thing you're going to do is install and download and install Postgre SQL. I'm going to provide the link of this website in the description, so you'll need to go to this web page and go to Windows, because I'm running Windows, so I'm going to install it for the Windows, and download install it for the Windows. And here on this page you can download the specified version you want for any various operating system that you might have. So once you click on this, Windows x86 and 64, your download is going to start automatically. We're not going to do that because we already have it in our system, so I will close the download here. Now the next thing you need to do is that once you have downloaded your installer and you run it, you'll need to install it, but there are a few things I would like to point out here. Is that when you are on the installer, you'll come across something like this: PostgreSQL server port. This is very important. By default, when you're running any command in PostgreSQL, especially when you are linking it up, or when you instantiate it in your terminal, it will automatically look for the default port, which is 5432. And if you change this, then you will need, I have changed it for myself, and you really don't need to change it because it's just going to be a tiny bit of an extra work if you do it. Otherwise, if you just leave it as it is, then it's going to always look for PostgreSQL at this exact port, or for the server at this exact port. And I'm going to show you what you will need to do if you do change the port. And the next thing you need to be very careful about is the password. It will ask you for the password that you would want to give it, so that anytime you connect to the server, this is the password you'll need to use. So you'll need to remember this password. So these are the two important things during this installation. Once you're done installing though, the next thing we need to do is boot up our server and connect with our server and create the database that will be linked with Chainlit, and we'll need to create the tables that the Chainlit will use to parse the data in the database. Now I've went ahead and opened up the terminal, and on the right side you can see that I have opened up this command list. This is what we need to build. We will have to, once you're you've connected your you have downloaded, once you have installed, once you're done with your installation of PostgreSQL, and then you will need to just simply paste this command in order to connect with your server. And this is why I told you it's going to be very important. Here I've mentioned the port 5532. That's because I had changed the port during installation, and to if I don't do this, if I don't add this command, let me show you what will happen. It'll just give me an error because it will automatically by default look for the server on this port. However, the server does not exist on that port, therefore we will need to give it the port where the server is located, which we had set up during the installation. And this will now ask me for the password. This is where the password comes. It's very important, the password that you had selected or set up at that time, because without this you will not be able to log in to your server. Now it might so happen that this command might not work for you, and this is just a path problem, which means that after this installation that was completed, the path variable was not automatically set up. So what you will need to do is simply locate the place where PostgreSQL is downloaded, and then you will need to give in the environment variable, you'll need to put the path of the bin file or the bin folder of PostgreSQL. Let me show it to you real quick. So this is where you're gonna find your PostgreSQL file. It's gonna be in your local disk C, program files, and your PostgreSQL. If you click on this, this is the version. This is the version of your SQL, and if you open it up, you'll see the bin file. This is what we need to copy. I mean, the path of this folder is what we need to copy, and now we're going to put that in our system variable. Simply go to search bar and search for system variable. Sorry, not system information. System variable. System environment variables. And then we're going to put this path here. Just go to this path, edit, and scroll down, and you will see I've already added it, so I'm not gonna do it again. But once you come here, you'll need to just click on new, and it's going to open up a new field for you. And here you'll need to paste the path that you've copied for the bin file. And I did the same thing for these two places, system variables and user variables. And basically, once you're done with this, you might want to restart your computer, because many times what happens is that your CMD does not recognizes the path directly, and if that happens, you might even need to just restart your CMD itself or restart the entire computer, and it might work for you, or it should hopefully start working for you. Alright, so next thing we need to do is create our database. Now this command I'm pasting here only and only because I am going to delete the previously created database that exists here, and because I'm doing this again for you guys, so that's why I already had created a database. I'm just going to delete that up, and yeah, drop the database if it exists. And this is, oh, CLS does not work, sorry, copy again. And we are done. Does not exist, and it's skipping because it had already deleted it. Now you'll go copy this command. I'm gonna give these commands to you. I'm not really an SQL guy or an SQL engineer, so I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. Now it's saying that with password has been created and role chainlit user already exists because I've already created it previously. The user does not get deleted, only the database does. And so now that we have our database, we can just connect to it. And once this happens, we'll need to start creating all of the required tables that our chainlit will use. First, we are done with the users table. Then we will create the threads table. And next is feedbacks. And after that, we have elements. And then at the end, steps table. Paste. Alright, all of our tables have been created so far, and now we need to grant the permissions, because without this it will show permissions error. And enter. After this we have alter table users. Then we're going to make the chainlit user the owner here, and in the end we have once again granting the permissions. Alright, now we are done with all of our steps for creating the tables and our database. The next thing we will do is add the final touch-up or a final piece of codes into our app.py. Alright, and now that we are inside of our app.py, we need to start setting up our environment variable for our database URL. And this, I'm simply going to copy this here and remove this. And this thing here is pretty straightforward. We have chainlit user, the user that we have created, secure password, the password for that, and it is located at this localhost 5532, and at the end we have /chainlit.db, which is our database. The next thing we need to do is link it up with Chainlit, and for that we will need a few lines of code, a few new functions. That is, the first one is data layer. And here we're simply going to return SQL alchemy data layer, and inside we will pass in con info equals to os dot get env, and that env is database URL. Alright, so we are done with this. The next thing we need to build is our chat on resume. Now, this function is the most essential one. This is basically the one that builds up our chat dictionary or chat dict on the sidebar. And look up to better. All right. So this is the one which builds up. Now, obviously, at the end, in the beginning, we need to start with our Olama function. To start the Olama, once we go to a new session or chat session, then we're going to get our chat history. We're going to set a chat history variable, session variable, and now we're going to get all the messages for message in thread metadata. Now, steps. Now, if message of type is user message, then cl dot user session dot get chat history dot append, and this is the just a dictionary format just like this, so we're just going to copy it from here, and in the role is going to be user, and content is going to be message output. Alright, this is done for if the message type is user message. elif message dot type is assistant message, then our cl.user dot get user session dot get, and we're going to get role is going to be assistant now, and the content will be the same, message output of assistant. And believe me or not, this is pretty much it. This is it. Let me cross-check it, double-check it, so that we have done everything correct. We created our environment variable. We have set our environment variable, which is database URL. To this, we have given it the link of the database where we got, and we have CL data layer. This is going to set that for SQL Alchemy data layer, and then at the last we have cl.on chat resume. This is going to build up our chat when we resume from a particular chat in the chat history. Alright, so we are pretty much done. I don't think we need to do anything more than this, and all of the variables are correctly aligned. Great. Now let us boot this up and see if it has any effect on our Chainlit application. So let us start with our Chainlit application, Chainlit run app.py. Make sure you are inside of your environment, and let's hit enter. Let's wait for it to boot up. And it boots up. All right, so you can see we are here. Let me log out from here. We are in the login page right now, and when we do log in into admin, and admin, it doesn't matter, you can just put in any username and password. We are inside, and we can see we have a sidebar now. This thing was missing, if you remember before when we created our login page. This scroll sidebar was missing and was not here. Now let us start a chat and see what happens. I have sent it hi. It's going to take some time to load the LLM into the memory, and we might start seeing our chat boot up any moment now. There we go. Hello, how can I assist you today? If you have any questions or need help with something specific. And we can also see that our chat is being logged on the sidebar. In the sidebar, our chat history is present. Let me start a new chat, and let us type in another hello and wait for our LLM to answer. And there we go. We can see that the next chat also appears in the sidebar, and we can cycle through them. We can toggle between them and continue with any specific chat that we want to have or we want to continue. The next thing is that we can log out, and it will send us back into the login page. And here, if I log in with another admin, one thing you need to be very careful about is that once you put in admin in here, the previous name that you had used, you should be very careful about all of the key presses that you do, because if you press an enter, a space at the end, this thing is considered as a new. This thing will be considered as a new username. This is, as you can see, there are no threads anywhere. There are no chat threads found for this username, because this is a new username. Since we have added a space at the end, but now without the space, if we log in again, we can see that our chats are present, and we can continue our chat from here. And this is pretty much it for our entire tutorial series. This was our final goal, and I congratulate all of you for sticking around for this long and be able to. I hope that you guys followed through it, and I hope that you guys did not run into any problem, into any trouble, and that it managed to work for you just as fine as it did for me. And yeah, I congratulate you all for completing this entire tutorial series. We successfully built from scratch a working chatbot interface, just like we have in ChatGPT, where we started first with our main homepage, then we created our first chat, and we then created our login page, and finally we have created a database with which we connected Chainlit to store our chat history. And now we have an entire chat history working for us, and we can log into different users, and different users will have their own separate chat sessions which they had done with this chatbot. and you can also use your own. I'm using a very small LLM for my task because my computer, like I said, doesn't have a lot of resources. But if you want, you can change it to a different chatbot, I mean a different LLM, and it might be really good for you. You can really take it a step further, give it some system prompts, and you can really tweak and tune it to make it into a specific purpose, special purpose chatbot for your case. So thank you very much for watching this series, and it had been a really nice journey with you all. And I hope to see you in the future, hopefully with more such fantastic and amazing tutorial series.